Phantasm is an awesome power-up for Moira in Overwatch Stadium. It's the one where you spawn a copy of the last orb you fired after you've used your fade, and it's especially good to counter a diving Genji player when built the right way. So in this video I'll show you the full build, talk you through how to play using it, and for a bonus, if you stick around until the end, you'll get to see just how annoyed this Genji player is with me in the chat. Anyway, before we get into the match, if you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more high-ranked Stadium gameplay. And all the builds we come up with, right? It's always changing, so while this build's cool today, it might not be tomorrow. Right, let's do this. We get to see the composition that we're up against. So, what influenced the Phantasm here is the fact that we're against Xayah, Genji. We don't want right-click builds, especially with the Ana, because she could use a giant sleep dart on us. So we opt for Phantasm, the armor and ability power stuff, because look, we're planning to play close to the enemy team, and we're going to need survival, simply put. So having that armor and then the additional armor after we use the ult is very, very useful. And we add some ability power just so that the orbs hurt a bit more. So we've got a Junker Queen. The longer that the fights go on for, the more the tank versus tank fight is going to benefit the Xayah because of her energy. So we're going to be opting mostly for damage orbs this game, simply for that reason. You can play a heal bot kind of style and just use heal orbs and put heal zones up. It's flexible, right? And you'll see there'll be a couple of moments in this game when we choose to do that, but most of the time we're opting for damage because we don't want Xayah to scale in a fight. Just going for a flank, we place down a little damage orb there next to the Ana. It's also hitting the Mercy. If the Xayah decides to retreat, and we get to take those players down. Fire a damage orb and leave one behind. If the Genji continues to fight us, they'll probably die because there's 2 orbs on them. I mean, they get killed anyway. So we want to stick around the choke. Our team's moving the bot at the moment. And the cool thing about Phantasm is placing the damage orbs in these choke points. So we're just bouncing one here, and when they get close, we fade back. And there's an orb sitting behind the Xayah. Now, the orbs aren't going to charge up the Xayah bubble. Because, yeah, they don't hit. Phantasm might actually. I don't think it does. Let's assume it acts like a normal orb. So you don't have to be worried too much about that. It's just going to hit when the bubbles are not on, and then it's just going to detach. Unfortunate Maywall there. And so here we fade, use one of the damage orbs from the fade, and then we try and ult to kill the Mercy because she was initially standing around our damage orb. And so it's like, let's use the burst damage and just take one player out. Thinking that would benefit us in the next fight, but yeah. So we can see the Cassidy going over to the left side now. We'll pay attention to that later. Fade to place a damage orb in the zone that Genji's there. But now we haven't got our Fade, which is one of the downsides of this. Look, we're always going to take the risks. Also important on the death cam there, we saw that the Cassidy was on the left-hand side. So as we're coming out here, we're thinking he's really desperate for this flank place. We fire the orb in that room, mostly as a scouting orb, but then we get visual confirmation. And we're aware of this because why would a Cassidy want to flank? Either way, I don't want to spend too long away from my team, so we end up leaving, and that's the reason why Cassidy wants to flank. But yeah, we didn't die to it or anything, and since he's coming back, fire the damage over at him, and our team cleans him up. Now, here's an interesting one. Why do I fire heal orb there? In advance, I'm predicting that I'm going to need to create heal zones here, because we've got to stay on the bot. I'm not going to be able to push up close towards their team. I'm also predicting that Junker Queen's going to retreat there. She doesn't. So right now, yeah, we're still pushing the bot. Now I want to switch to damage orbs here, because now the enemy team are the ones who have to come close to the bot. And so if I need to fade and place an orb down, it's going to be hitting the enemy team. So there's like the use cases for swapping around. In advance, we know what orbs we're going to want to use. And yeah, we get the first round and we get MVP. Might be a reoccurring theme for this game. So, going on to round 2, what changes in our build? Well, there's still only Phantasm. This time though, we grab a bunch of the ability power blues. It gives us some ability lifesteal. Since we're going to have to play close to the enemy players, remember we're going for damage orbs predominantly. Yeah, we're going to take quite a bit of damage, so the lifesteal is going to help us out. It's useful to have in all of the rounds, at least some, like even 10%. So we're trying to like edge our way forward here towards the enemy team so that we can put an orb down. Unfortunately, we mess up the fade, get stuck on the boxes, but luckily for us, our team's pushing forward. Cassidy's there. We can't get too close to him. We fade to get the health pack, and it also has the bonus effect of putting an orb down just there in the choke in case he tries to push us aggressively. Our team's pushing forward, trying to clean up. We don't get the mercy because of the bubbles. Move forward in amongst their enemy team, and then we're putting another damage orb down there. Now watch what we do here. So we go push forward deliberately to where the mega is and place one of the damage orbs there. So if a low health player does go for the mega, it might be able to finish them off before they take it, but also it might be able to zone them out, or should I say when they take the mega, then they immediately take damage again. Unfortunately though, yeah, we got two shot. Remember what I said about us taking the risks? We will take risks with this, and we get loads of value, but sometimes it goes wrong. So yeah, enemy team capped the point. We're pushing through, just trying to right click the Genji. We're also trying to get in that choke again and place down the damage orbs so that allows our team some space to move forward, because no one wants to be near that damage orb. That worked out quite well. Our team's moving forward now, and this time we're trying to get onto the point to place the damage orb. There's a high noon, so we've just got to peek around the corner, but looks like the enemy team did clean us up with the nano boost. They've also just used their ult, and they rezzed that Cassidy as well. Used the Genji ult even. So that might give us a bit of hope, but they've used quite a few ults here. Again, we want to kind of get forward and place this orb into the choke point. It's a bit scary against some of these players, but as long as we use cover well. So we place it quite deep out there. That allows our team to push forward a bit, or they just take damage. I want to poke out the Ana a bit. We fade over to take the Mega, but somebody's already taken it. Got visual of the Cassidy there. But Xayah Grav comes in, the only ult they hadn't really used. So we place an orb there, but because the Genji's being healed by Mercy, the orb's just not going to do enough damage. So we fade back, but yeah, unfortunately the Genji chases us down, gets the kill, and the enemy team wins the round. I mean, look, for us to demonstrate the later rounds of the game, we're going to have to lose rounds. So obviously I picked this game because it's quite a close game. But we get MVP again. Now round 3, what's our second power going to be? We go for Multiball? Yeah, so the reason here is because we want Cyber Venom, which is going to do AoE damage against them. I mean, AoE healing reduction against them. And we also get Smart Orbs and a bunch of ability power. Smart Orbs isn't going to help us out with the Fade Orb, right? The Phantasm one, so it feels quite useless. But since we do want to put the anti-heal on as many people as possible for as long as possible, it's going to help with just our regular multi-orbs, right? So yeah, we got annihilated in the first fight. Now we're trying to heal up our Junker Queen. She goes down. We place a little damage orb there, and also the multi-orbs flying in. Tank's dead, so we go for a flank, see if we can take somebody out. Just as we're about to fade, Cassidy hinders us. And yeah, we can't move.
The enemy's pushing their barricade.
Right, pushing out the spawn again. Firing damage orbs because we want to apply the anti-heal to them. Place an orb right where the Genji was. That orb's continuously hitting them, along with our Junker Queen and our right click, so Genji gets taken down. Mercy's bubbled, but I guess couldn't get the res off. So now we're pushing. I don't want to fade forward because I want to use my fade for the damage orb. In that case, it's not really going to work. And I'm just standing still there so that she can get the reset, doesn't stagger herself. So we go up top, we want to apply these debuffs to players as they come around the corner. Now Genji's in a perfect position to get hit by our orb, but again being pocketed by the Mercy. Fire another orb up there. You know, it's just we're constantly applying debuffs to the enemy team. Place one there next to the bot. Now we're going to Coalescence. Unfortunately our Junker Queen's antied and we get stuck in a grab, but the High Noon's not visible to us, so we're okay. And our team gets a whole bunch of kills. I mean, simply put, they didn't synergize the two ults, the Graviton Surge and the High Noon. So back up top again. It's fine if the Genji pushes us here because we want to bait the Genji so that we can hit them with the stationary orb. So we place it there, again on a choke point where they're going to be passing through. The players going up top. Now here, this is annoying. I'll explain what happened. Right. So I thought the Genji's going for me. I thought he dashed once and he's going to turn and dash for me. So I faded back, trying to leave the damage orb behind. But he was actually going for the Juno. So all that happened there was I faded to give Genji another reset. I mean, you have to predict these things. Like, try to predict them anyway. You can't react to that all the time. So enemy team's got the bot. Just fade up to the high ground. We want to sit up here because if the Genji pushes us up here, again, we can place one of the Phantasm Orbs. And it's quite common for a Genji to push up here. So we'll be able to hit them with a load of damage at once. But it doesn't seem like they're coming up there. Try and heal the Jungle Queen up. But there is a nano, so again, we're just going to try and apply debuffs. Tank goes down. We need to get involved, like with the bot. We place a nice orb in that zone. Cassidy can't really come through there. That isolates him from the Ana. More anti-heal orbs coming at them. Genji's suffering there. Even though the players are grabbed, we've just got to kill the Xayah, so once that's done, it's done. And yeah, we take the round.
Score 2-1. You can really tell who the playmakers are.
Okay, going on to round 4. Right, so now we've got liquid nitrogen. Slows their movement speed. Still got the smart orbs. And yeah, a bunch of blues to give us the ability, power, and lifesteal. We want the orbs that we place to hurt, because when the Genji dives in, we want them to hurt. And yeah, they're slowing their movement as well, which means that they stick around inside them for longer. Try to delay the orb there so the Genji doesn't deflect it. Tank's been antied, so this isn't looking great, especially if they're pushing forward like that. Fire more orbs there. Again, we're putting a damage orb in the choke point where players have to try and push through. Genji does go down, so Mercy also down. We've got damage orbs pushing forward. Don't want to take another hit from Xayah, we're only on 60 health. He gets slept. Just a poking orb there as well. Our health's back up. And now we're trying to just, again, same thing. If they come through the choke, we want to fade and put an orb there. Try and slow the Xayah as well so that she can chase down our Freya. But yeah, she took her down, so now Jungle Queen gets slept. Now we fade the other way because we don't want to make the same mistake. We find we're in a 1v1 against the Ana. Well, Cassidy also showed up. We kill the Ana, but it's not going to matter. Mercy's going to res it anyway. This is just more like we can't go in the same direction as the Blade, so that's where we're at. So now here, what's our team going to do? So I'm looking at the team and I'm thinking, can I be a long enough stall for them here? So I've got my ult, I fade through, I use the damage orbs, I get immediately crushed. Yeah, we're not really built in a tanky way, but the idea was there, and I wasn't too scared of using the Coalescence, because Coal's not that good on this middle stage if we lose it. I mean, there's so much cover that players can hide behind, unless you're going to run down their entire team with Coal. Yeah, it's not going to work. So I'm fine with just having the orbs here, but I think it was worth a try. So now we're trying to push forward again. Allow the same thing that we were doing on the previous map. Go in, try and fade, put the damage orb zone there, but we got caught in a grab. So there's nothing we can do about that one here. Again, I'm not going to stop trying that because those things can happen sometimes. I would rather just get the value when they don't happen and then suffer the consequences when they do. So we can't get back to the point in time, so enemy's going to take this round, bringing it 2-2. We are getting pretty rich though. Another MVP. We're on 48k. We're quite a bit ahead of the rest of our team in terms of cash. So we take Cross Orbal now because we need some sustain for ourselves. We've also got Lumerico Fusion Drive to give us armor when we use an ability, namely the Fade. We've got Super Flexor as well, because yeah, that's just an awesome ability. Gives us more ability power when we deal weapon damage. Yeah, I think that's it. So we Fade to put the orb there to try and catch the Genji off while they're stuck behind the Mei wall. Didn't really work. Got to take a little bit of cover now because it's scary having so many players go close to you with that much damage. We do get the kill over onto the Genji. Push forward, Fade back again. Damage orb zone for the Xayah. Now we're on the point. We're going to try and fire some long range orbs. Apply some debuffs. You never know when the player hits a couple of headshots on an enemy player and they tried to receive healing, but it was reduced and we get the kill. They're slept now. We want to just try and get their health up as soon as possible for any anti-nades to come in. Same principle. We can fade back, right? So we put that orb down. It starts hitting them. It starts slowing them, reducing their healing. And then we fade back and start poking long range and start moving forward when we've got our fade up again. I think I accidentally clicked the wrong orb there, so we went with a healing orb. So now another damage orb. We try and use the coalescence, have to fade back. We take out the Genji, looking for the Mercy. She takes some cover and then we can't see because of the stupid Juno heart gate thing. Great May wall save us from the grab. We've still got the point, so it's up to the enemy team to move forward. Azai is doing a lot of damage though. See what the problem is with going for heal orbs against Xayah rather than damage orbs. Like, if the fight goes on a long time, Xayah becomes a monster. So just keeping my team alive while she scales, it's not that good. Instead, we'd rather try and take them out, try and put pressure on them that way. Pushing forward, looking for any poke opportunities. You never know if a player's, like, for example, they killed that Genji, right? But maybe the Genji survives with 1 health and our orb is what finishes them off. So just trying to poke a little bit. Jungle Queen's trying to move in. Again, we want to try and get the slow up onto them. Right-clicking the Xayah bubbles a lot, but I don't think Moira does too much to charge them up. Like, she doesn't do a lot of damage with the right clicks, especially not on a build like this, so I'm not too fussed. What you'll also notice is me spamming the healing spray. As soon as I finish, like, if I haven't got a target to right-click, I'm holding left-click. And that's, I mean, with the number of orbs that we've got out there, building up our resources again, we're not too worried. We're also not healing that often, so pretty much any time that I'm not right-click grasping players, I'm healing. Even if it's healing the air, because, well, why not? If there's no target for grasp, let's do it. Now, I fire a damage orb here, same principle as before. I know loads of people are like, why didn't you fire a heal orb? We're not going to save the player, but if our Junker Queen had got the Genji low, maybe we finish off the Genji. There's no chance that firing healing orbs is going to save anybody. Like, not in that situation. That's unlucky. We try and get to touch the point. We use the coalescence, but the Ana giant sleep dart comes in and ruins Christmas. MVP, 14k that round. We're on 63,000 cash. Right, so we've opted to get Champion's Kit. So a load more ability power. And yeah, we've still got smart orbs. So now we want our orbs to actually start hurting.
The objective unlocks in 10 seconds.
Right, trying to push forward again. Leave an orb there. Junker Queen gets slept and antied. Surviving from now, we're trying to just get some heals up on them while we wait for our cooldowns. Again, AoE slows. We get a fade orb in a nice position. It's hitting the Genji a lot, but our Junker Queen does go down. So now, because our tank's down, we go on our little mini flank. We just try and make it so that they're not all traveling in the same direction. When you haven't got a tank, the enemy team will just automatically push forward, and your team will retreat. But if we manage to turn some players around, then maybe some of them push forward into the rest of our team and get killed, while other ones are sitting at the back trying to deal with us. So it's a play I use in regular ranked and all the time. Like in pretty much any game mode, your tank dies, you quite often want to push aggressive, or you can just go full retreat and try and fight them. So yeah, we're now pushing onto the team again, want to move forward. Xayah grabs us, so we get out of that. I think she might have a power that reduces grabs duration but gives it some other effect, because those grabs don't seem to be lasting too long. And we haven't built anything, so if you know what that is, let me know in the comments. It'd be very helpful. Right, so here we can join the rest of our team with a fade very quickly, but we're bouncing orbs off of the back wall because they're slowing orbs. We're moving the bot. If we can slow the enemy team from getting to the bot, it could be an extra meter or two. Right, unlucky play. So yeah, the Genji goes for us and has a bubble. So we try to fade back, and then we're hoping that the Genji goes for a target that's visible to them, and then use the coal. And yeah, I mean, it's quite self-explanatory. Mercy goes for the res, but we've got the damage. Actually gets the res over onto the Genji, but an isolated Genji not going to do too much here, although it does have bubbles. Xayah's already there. But Genji's doing a similar thing, right? As in, the enemy team gets to move the bot quite far there while we're dealing with them. But unfortunately, yeah, we've now got some momentum. So there's a heal orb already being fired. People will be like, why did you not heal the Junker Queen there? So the cross orbal heal orb was already moving towards where Junker Queen was, yeah, going to. So it's like, let's kill the Xayah. And that's what we did. Great use of the Phantasm there. When the Genji dove us, we hit Fade. Genji lands on our orb. Oh, now there's a High Noon behind us. We're crouched, trying to hide and hope he doesn't get over the top. Yeah, the enemy team staggering quite a bit here. Get slept, we Fade, cleanse the anti. Mercy's flying around like crazy, but also gets taken down. Now we're very, very close. If the enemy team wins this fight, we lose the game. So it's very nice that... I wanted to push forward there, by the way. But I had to be sure that we've got players on the bot. Because again, I can slow players coming out of spawn so they can't get to the bot to contest it in time. So yeah, we're now going on to the round 7. Max build Moira. MVP again. I mean, I'm not spoiling anything. It'll probably be in the title, right? So what do we do round 7? Well, we sold Smart Orbs. And instead we got that Iridescent Iris with 20% ability power. We also got Deconstruction. So when we're healing, it's going to amplify the damage of our orbs. So you'll see little up arrows appear on the screen to say when it's active, and it'll give us 20% more damage on, well, everything we do. So if I'm left clicking, which I'm left clicking the air and I'm left clicking players, I'm not really too focused on this, so I'm not priming it, which you can do. You can say, hey look, I'm gonna make this, like, now it's active, right? So any damage I'm doing now is amplified, but it's inactive now when I'm firing my orbs. So maybe if I was a better player, I would be priming that before I fire every orb. But it's a lot to focus on, and I don't do it too often when I've added it as a last ability. So we don't want to go too close. We want to be firing these orbs as they're pushing in. But again, there's still the principle of when there's a choke point, we want the enemy team to have to walk through our orb that we place with Fade. So we're kind of just trying to place one there. So if they push forward, it hits them. Those orbs last quite a while. Look, you can see the damage orb. So again, moving forward, we know we've got Fade. We've just got to not get headshot by everything. The getting 50 armor restored when we use Fade's very helpful with that item. So our team's kind of crushing them here. They're having a tough time moving through the choke. There's the grab again. We've currently got amped up from Deconstruction. It's out now. Of course it is, just before we fire the orb. But it's back again now. We've got damage up. Oh no, that's from Mercy actually. Alright, we're going to use Cole. Try and push them back. Of course, Anna Nade has given everybody a heal boost, so we're probably not going to get many kills here. Our tank does go down. We place an orb where they've got to run through. Genji chases, but we go back the other way because we know that Genji probably wants to go to the point. So just trying to get in over onto the point. We've placed one orb there and we want to play around that orb, which is why we go back out of the point. Genji using the ultimate ability. Stuck on one of our slowing orbs, along with all the rest of them. Mercy reses the Genji up on the point. Win the fight, win the game. Finished off with a Phantasm orb, just for good measure. And that's the build, guys. To me, it's fun. Look at the chat. You ready? Moira hit a truck. Please. I don't think the Genji was very happy with me. So I did what any good content creator would do, and I said say hi to YouTube, and then I muted it so that they don't get to say hi. Right guys, hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Yeah, we'll put more videos out soon. Hope you all have an awesome day. And yeah, Moira Tech.